The New York Jets fell in the season opener against the Baltimore Ravens 24-9 in a game that really showed us a lot about the defense and also showed us some things about the offense. Before we dive into it, I'm going to ask if you enjoy this at any point in the video to be sure to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. So let's get into it. Stats can be deceiving, and the Jets had more offensive total yards than the Baltimore Ravens. Now, that's not something that a lot of people expected, but if you were doing your homework during the offseason and looking at what Joe Douglas added, it shouldn't have come to the surprise that it did. The Jets' defense pressured Lamar Jackson 17 times and had 3 sacks. It was the quad group of Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers, and Jacob Martin that combined for a team-high 3 pressures on Lamar Jackson. The defense held this Ravens team to 24 points despite the fact the offense could not finish with points on the board. It took until the latter portion of the game, garbage time if you will, for Joe Flacco to help the Jets score their first touchdown of the game. Greg Zuerlein then missed the extra point. He also missed a field goal earlier. That literally is 4 points off the board right there. The Jets actually won the time of possession battle and the yards battle as previously mentioned. So how did they lose this game? Well, Joe Flacco ended up having a sub-75 passer rating, and that's just the start. He threw 59 times, and unfortunately the offensive line that is battered with injuries was not able to keep him upright. It was a little confusing how quickly the team went away from running the football. They averaged 4.9 yards per carry on 18 attempts. Michael Carter ran it 10 times for 60 yards. The rookie Breece Hall added 6 carries for 23 yards. On the offensive side of the ball, the most important thing, I think, was getting Garrett Wilson going. The rookie 10th overall pick had himself a decent debut, going for 4 catches for 52 yards. Corey Davis threw 6 catches for 77 in there as well. Michael Carter was back in his pass-catching grind, 7 catches for 40, and Elijah Moore finished the day with 5 catches for 49 yards. The problem is that, yes, this team put up yards on the stat sheet, but it didn't result in the touchdowns. Flacco threw a costly interception and had a hard time moving the football. DJ Reed had an incredible interception and dealt with some blowback after celebrating his interception at midfield. What we found out afterwards is you can never assume anything because he was celebrating the fact that he caught the interception. He dedicated that to his father. Unfortunately, DJ Reed found out right before the game via text that he had just lost his father, and so I have to give a ton of credit to DJ Reed, who played a hell of a game without any chance to process losing a loved one. I thought all in all, there were a lot of good things to take away from this game despite them losing 24-9. And I came away with the idea that if Zach Wilson was playing in this game and he was fully healthy, I think the Jets might have stolen this one at MetLife. I think that they got a lot of contribution out of the defense, and I think they'll continue to do that. You could see that adding guys like Quan Alexander and DJ Reed and what Sauce Gardner did as a rookie in his first game, you could just see this was a legit team in the Baltimore Ravens. They were playing on the road, yes, but still, Lamar Jackson, Rashad Bateman, I mean, they definitely had players that could have exploited things in the secondary, and they still did. Lamar threw for 3 touchdowns, but the Jets were able to pick him off and get to him 17 times. Lamar did not feel comfortable in this game, and you could see he wasn't even really able to run because of how well the Jets figured out how to defend him, essentially. It was very similar to the Steelers' blueprint on how they defend Lamar Jackson when they play the Ravens. And according to PFF, both Quinnen Williams and DJ Reed had elite grades per their metrics. It was great to see the rookies get going. As I mentioned with Sauce Gardner, you had what you had out of him, but in addition to that, you had Jermaine Johnson getting his first sack of the year. You had Michael Clemens getting in there, and of course, Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall showed you some promise. The fumble he's going to want back. But at the end of the day, I did like what I saw out of Breece Hall. I liked what I saw out of the Jets. And so I come away with this game thinking, yes, I assumed they were going to lose. I had them losing around the 6-point, 7-point range. So to see them be in there pretty much the entire game until the offense literally just could not do anything and the defense was on the field too long, it says a lot. I do think at the end of the day, this Jets team has a starting point here. There's a barometer that has been set based on what we just watched. The defense is going to be ferocious this year, I think. The offense has to match with that intensity, albeit they will be without Zach Wilson until likely the Steelers game. In addition to that, they did lose before the season even started Dwayne Brown. They also lost Mekhi Becton. That led to picking up Dwayne Brown. So this team is going through it. They're already just facing some adversity. I believe that they're going to get through this and they're going to start winning some football games when Wilson comes back. I don't know if Flacco is going to get them a win, but if they do get some points on the board, this defense just went up against one of the toughest quarterbacks to game plan against in Lamar Jackson. And yes, he threw 3 touchdowns, but they held him to 24 points in a game that the offense was anemic. I think it speaks a lot to what Robert Saleh has done to prepare his team. I think the defense is there. The offense might be there. I don't think the offensive play calling deserves all the blame, but I do think that has to get better. They have to clean that up. And at the end of the day, the talent is there for the Jets to have a winning season. We'll see what they do moving forward, but I took a lot of good things away from this, and I'm sure you probably did as well. Ultimately, you want the Jets to win the football game. No doubt about that. That's what the NFL is all about. Winning games, figuring out a way to win. No one is going to make excuses for being without anybody except for really just fans. So at the end of the day, you're not going to expect NFL players to make excuses. They go out there, they compete. I thought Flacco competed. I think he's just way too much of a statue in the pocket, doesn't have that mobility. He's older. When they kept Flacco clean, he was able to deliver strikes. And while I wasn't a big fan of his game, I do think that he showed you some promise. If they could start keeping him clean and not have the day they had, George Fant was surprisingly bad in this game. I expect that to change. They could come away with the win next week against the Browns. We'll see. But that's going to do it for me. If you guys enjoyed this recap and reaction, be sure to drop a like. Be sure to drop the subscribe button. And if you're on mobile, be sure to hit the bell icon and you never miss another video from me again. But I'm Jake Ellenbogen. This has been the Jets and Ravens Week 1 post-game reaction. And that's going to do it for me. So you guys take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.